Once again, something from James Dillard Freeman's prayer, The Master Key. Still a favorite. I said to the Master, "Tell me about things. Is it wrong to pray for things?" The Master said, "It is wrong not to pray for things. If prayer is right, then there is no aspect of living that we should not pray about. Pray about things, and you will find that you have the things you need, and you have also the attitude toward things you need." Then I thought about things. I saw that it is futile to pray for the possessions of things, for things can never be possessed. Nothing can be possessed. We have the use of things, but we never have the possession of them. However many titles to them we may deposit with the recorder of deeds, however many locks and strong boxes we may use for hiding them, there is nothing that is ours to keep. Not one thing. Sooner or later, we will have to give it away or it will be taken away. Everything. Even our body. Even our mind. Everything was the gift of life, and life asks it back. According to the greatest teacher of all, life asks it back with interest. Life expects it to have grown under our care. Life asks what we have done with what was given us. Have we turned it into a trash heap or into a park? Life is for us to be alive in. Life is not to build a castle on. The castle is a vast pile of stones, damp, gloomy, and usually uncomfortable. After a short time, nobody wants to live there anymore. Then it becomes a ruin. Life is to grow a garden in. A garden lives, a garden grows, a garden changes a bare patch of land into a place of trees and flowers and grass and fountains splashing into ponds and singing birds and buzzing insects. Life is not a thing of stones for stones, but a thing alive for things alive, for mayflies and pine trees and hummingbirds and you and me. A gardener knows what a garden is like. A gardener knows that no one possesses a garden. No one owns the land. In a well-built house, the landlord is merely a lodger with rooms for a week, a year, 5 years, 50 years. Generations of mockingbirds sing in the branch tops. Generations of moles tunnel the lawns, smelling out the grubs that live there too. The rabbits mock at the fences. The pokeweed, it lords it in the lot garden. The flower garden belongs no more to the gardener than to the bees that sup the flowers. In the limestone of the walls are the remains of shellfish that swam here once. And perhaps the gardener is content to plant his trees and not trouble himself as to who will lie in their shade. Well, Jim, not only thank you for being my friend, but thank you for such beauty and such insight. So you can pray for things. Charles Fillmore said once in this very room, he said, "There's nothing too wicked to ask God about. Nothing." And he said, you can ask God for a dress or a drink of whiskey. Take your pick. Now, we've talked about prayer the last 2 weeks. We've had some ideas that we've shared about prayer. One of them was, God cannot give you today what He hasn't given you yesterday and will give you tomorrow. Remember, God's always the same, unchanging. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, created everything you will ever need. We're just discovering what God created. As we come up with new ideas and new inventions and new desires, simply discovering what has already been made. And praying about things, it's perfectly fine. But what's it for? To change God? Ever do that double-fisted prayer? God, please give this to me. You know I need this. And God says, please. We're not asking God to be different today. We can't ask God to be different today. God can't be different today. God is the same yesterday, today, tomorrow. God has already given us everything. Everything. Now, that's a hard concept. I know that. It's already here. Charles Fillmore said, we need to be good receivers. God's the good giver, and God continually bestows his good upon his creation. It's that we fail to receive it. We make limitations. Jesus talked about looking unto the hills and see that the fields are ripe already unto harvest. But we say, oh, it's going to take 6 months, or maybe this will happen in 5 or 10 years, or maybe someday I'll be able to have this or that. We've put the limitations on there. Remember, prayer is not to change God, but to change our own attitude about God, our own awareness of God. And it's to change our idea from a belief in the thing that doesn't exist for us, that there's a lack of something in the universe and in our lives, to one that our good already does exist, that God has already prepared it for us, that God is manifesting. There's a small word, 2 small words I've used before. God is manifesting. And then that other small word, as. God is manifesting as the good I seek. God is manifesting as the good I desire. God is manifesting as life, as love, as substance, as intelligence. Prayer never changes God. It never causes God to be different today than God was yesterday or any day. God has already given us everything. And we have not accepted everything. Charles said it's just as important to receive as to give. God is already manifesting as our good. God is already manifesting as our good. Now, I know the business of supply can be one of the easiest concepts to grab hold of. I've heard some great spiritual teachers speak about that let's see, one of the first things people can seem to grasp readily. It seems to be easier than trying to grasp something about health or healing, because that's so personal. Now, I had a neighbor, it's been a few years now, I think that neighbor is long gone somewhere else, but I saw that neighbor once out in his yard, and he was digging a mighty hole. Well, it looked like a mighty hole. And he had a small sapling to put in it. I looked at the sapling, and I could tell by the leaves what it was. It was a peach tree. Now, what would you expect from a peach tree? Peaches. You doubt that? I thought about it, and I could envision the family. They were going out and buying sugar and wax and jars and making a list of all their friends, clearing a place in the basement to do the to do the canning or to make the preserves. You can imagine. You plant a peach tree and then you don't, after a while, say, well, it's no good, it has no fruit, it is never going to have fruit. You expect it to have fruit. You're waiting for it to have fruit because you know it will. Why is it when we pray about things, about the desires we have in our hearts, about the good we think we want, why is it we forget that eternal peachness? It's built into the tree. But somehow we push it out of other things. That can't happen. Well, that would be nice, but for years, I thought, wow, it'd be nice to win the lottery. I thought that many times. And then something dawned on me. How can you win the lottery if you don't play? Oh, there's a step there I was forgetting, Having faith enough in it to purchase a ticket. Not the lottery isn't your channel necessarily. It's certainly not the source. It may. It just comes to people who every once in a while you hear about somebody who won some great amount of money. To think that I was so envied when I won that $10,450 off of Big Bertha at the MGM Grand. And a lady would walk up and say, "May I touch you?" Yeah. It's not a miracle that these things happen. It's an act of consciousness. And I even foretold that this was going to happen. My inner knowing said, I made the statement, I'm going to hit it big while I'm here. And that, for me, that in the 1970s, that $10,450 was pretty big. Yeah. Oh, well. Why don't we, when we plant something like a peach tree, start stocking up on jars and sugar and wax, and making room in the basement so we can do some canning or making preserves, and a list of friends to give it to and share it with. It's so important to remember God is. We've talked about that 2 weeks ago. God is. That's the only word that really expresses the allness of God. God is. But then there's that as. God is and expresses as all the good I seek. I don't care what the desire is. I don't care how much money you want, how much land you want, how much good you want in your life. What it's all about is consciousness of God. You want more God in your life. God is everything in the universe. God is all the substance of all things. The substance is God. Now, Jim talks about praying for things. And he also says that when you pray about things, you acquire the attitudes about the things. Try not to do that two-fisted prayer. Oh, God, please give me one. Anything to try and change God or change the universe. Whatever you desire. What is the truth about that desire? Well, Emily Cady says, and I believe her, it is God tapping you on the heart, telling you it's yours already. It's prepared for you. So the key is acceptance. God is manifesting as the good I seek. God is manifesting as the good I seek. And I accept it now. Can you believe that? Can you accept it now? God is manifesting as the good I seek. My good seeks me now, and I accept it now. I borrowed that from Catherine Ponder. She won't mind. My good seeks me now, and I accept it now. Say that silently. My good seeks me now, and I accept it now. We need to enlarge our consciousnesses of the presence of good in the universe. The presence of the good that God has already created in the beginning. Every desire in the heart is from God saying, there is more here for you. I am manifesting as your good. It seeks you now. It is for you to accept it now. I think one of the best ways to receive is to increase our spiritual awareness of supply and prosperity. There have been lots of programs about that. I don't care if you've read lots of Catherine Ponder or if you've taken some 4-letter course or something. There are many ways to begin to enlarge the consciousness. But I want to remind you, to human sense, supply is income. Now, I'm not talking about salary. It's got to come in from out there. Income. To spiritual sense, it's outgo. Oh. See, if God is all and it's already created, then it's a matter of that good coming forth from within us, from out of our own being. God is manifesting as our good. What is the substance of your being? Is it not God? Remember, even your body is God. Formed substance. Everything is God. It's all comes forth from within you. And it's about accepting, believing that it's prepared for you, believing that you are an open channel through which that good flows. It's not a matter of location. I'm not going to tell you that you're going to start praying for a new car, a brand new car. Sound like a prize show, a game show. And then in, a couple of days, out of your navel is going to fly a new Cadillac. Not going to happen. But it has to come out of the within of you. The awareness of the reality of that new car. The awareness that it's prepared for you and that you accept it now. It might even be a fully restored Yugo. Fully restored. That means right back to as lousy as it was when it was brand new. But it all depends on what our consciousness is of that car. Some people would pray for an Edsel. One of the best ways to allow this stuff to come out from within you is by the act of giving. When I said it, things come from within you. It's what can you give out. And the first place to look, what you can give up, give away, is going to be in that biggest closet of all we call the consciousness. What's in there to give up? Resentment, anger, jealousy, hatred, judgment, all kinds of negative emotions, fear, all kinds of limited concept. There's only so much time, so much stuff, so much money to go around, so much love. It's all infinite. Because the source of it all is infinite. Look through that big closet of consciousness, and then look through your other closets. I learned a long time ago, the most important time, the most necessary time for me to give is when I think I can't. Why would I think I can't? Some thought of not enough, can't afford it, and there's always something you can give. You can bring out from within you. That can be love and acceptance. That can be a kind word. That can be help for a friend. But break that block and allow good to flow through you. True active giving, this can be tough because we get kind of used to even exchanges. Well, I'll give them a nice gift and then they'll buy a nice gift for me. What do you think? Well, what I gave Agnes for her birthday was expensive. What she gave me for mine was pitiful. If it's a gift, it's given freely. No thought of any even exchange. No thought of anything back. How do you think the Creator gives? Think God's keeping a list? Well, I gave them healing last year, and what'd they give me this week? Yeah, they dropped $1 in the collection. What the heck? Well, next time they're going to have to pray good, long, and hard, or I'd make any move real quick. Impossible. God continually bestows upon us the light of life, the light of divine intelligence, infinite radiant life energy. It's for us to accept it. But it doesn't come into us. It's got to come through us from inside out, not from outside in. So, see what you can give. But remember, good doesn't get into your life. Good comes out of your life. You've heard about bread cast upon waters? What are they supposed to do? Come back, because they got your name on them. But if there's no bread coming, it's because none was sent out. And we don't send it out because we think, I can't. There isn't enough. God isn't whatever. God is my abundance and is already manifesting as everything I need. God is my abundance and is already manifesting as everything I need. Together? God is my abundance and is already manifesting as everything I need. It's what you know that sets you free. It's not your opinions. It's what you know. Sets you free from disease, from limitation of any kind, from lack. And it's know that God already is. Our good already is. There's nothing to ask for. There's nothing to hunt for. Only something to know. And that it comes from within you. God is and is manifesting as everything I need.